What's going on, you guys? This is your boy Rel2G, the coolest man on YouTube, but I can be just as wild and crazy as you folks are out there. This is the Raw Super Show review. Let's start off with Raw with CM Punk talking about what John Laurinaitis alluded to, what he was saying to Mick Foley last week, talking about that he plans to screw him at the Royal Rumble, and he simply sits down and tells John Laurinaitis, for once, pull your balls out your purse and come down here and say everything that you said at the end of Raw to my face. And so before he could do anything else, John Cena comes out and he simply talks about John Laurinaitis, who screwed Zack Ryder's United States Championship over Jack Swagger, and that he wants to give him another chance at it. That said, John Laurinaitis comes out and he simply says that, oh, I'm going to give Zack Ryder a rematch, but only if he beats Kane tonight. And Cena, if you interfere, he will never get that chance. And CM Punk, I plan on screwing you at the Royal Rumble, but I want to put you two in a tag match. So he simply puts Jack Swagger and Dolph Ziggler with John Cena and CM Punk. So the match was okay and all that, but then everything comes to the nitty gritty, and then at the end, John Laurinaitis comes out and interferes with CM Punk, and Punk gets the pin roll up by Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler once again beats CM Punk for a fourth straight week, all because of John Laurinaitis. And so CM Punk just simply tells John Laurinaitis for once he wants to face him one-on-one match with John Laurinaitis, and that will happen later on tonight. We get Chris Jericho coming out. Oh, they're talking, he's going to speak, and whatever. And then, to my surprise, we find out he's going to be one of the participants in this year's Royal Rumble. And he's out there telling everybody, shh, shh, shh. And he goes out to the back and he comes out with the shotgun. So he plans on trying to shoot it here, shoot it there, and then at the end, he takes the camera and just bears it all around the arena. And then he gets us to look at the highlight reel from the past when he first was Jericho. One time, Jericho the second time, this countdown to Millennium thing. And then at the end of everything, he simply says that this Sunday at the Royal Rumble, it will be the end of the world as you know it. So just another one of Jericho's moments. We'll just have to figure out what he's going to do. And I believe he will win the Royal Rumble. Our next match, Falls Count Anywhere, between Zack Ryder and Kane. It was a match where Zack Ryder really didn't have a chance at Kane because his bruised ribs, he's with Eve, and he said he's medically cleared to wrestle. But it was Kane who just annihilated Zack Ryder, and for all intents and purposes, the end, he just picks him up and choke slammed him through the stage up near the ramps, and Zack is just totally unconscious. That Zack Ryder suffered a broken back. Who knows what's going to happen at the Royal Rumble? And Eve is with him just as well as John Cena. So as they put him into the ambulance, Eve simply tells John Cena, "This is all your fault. You've done enough." John Cena just had this mean look on his face, which is indication that he can't take anything that's going on anymore. And obviously, him and Kane will get it on, or will they get it on at the Royal Rumble? I don't know, you guys. I sense that Cena's embracing the hate has already come possibly days earlier. Something could happen. Royal Rumble, I expect Cena to begin to turn to a silent heel. Our next match of the evening is Jinder Mahal versus the Great White Sheamus. These two will compete in the Royal Rumble as well. And Jinder Mahal, he's been building up in recent weeks, and he looks pretty good with Sheamus. Sheamus with the Brogue Kick to Jinder Mahal. Meanwhile, Wade Barrett is out there by their, the announcers table looking at this match. Sheamus wins the match, and he gives Wade Barrett this look that I'll be ready for Royal Rumble, and he will definitely win the 2012 Royal Rumble match. And we also learned that Randy Orton will be at the Royal Rumble as well. But first, Wade Barrett and Randy Orton will face-to-face each other on Friday Night SmackDown. We got The Miz. He's talking about he's the number one whatever. It's the same mess with Miz each and every week. I'm getting a little tired of him myself. And here comes R-Truth playing somebody, I forget his name. He's a market director for some type of research. And he says, yes, you are number one. Something. He just simply called him WEIL. Is when something, when are we going to turn or whatever. It's just foolish. And he called him the number one Jack and chomping and chartering and gathering. And here comes John Laurinaitis. He's simply talking about, I'm trying to prepare my first match in the WWE with John Cena. I can't hear myself think. So he says, hey, I got my number one. Whoever loses this match will be the number one entry into this weekend's Royal Rumble match. Brodus Clay goes one-on-one against Heath Slater. And what was so funny about this match was Brodus Clay didn't have on his red attire tonight. He had on black and white. It was mainly all white. What really cracked me up was he had a little malfunction getting his sweatpants off, and it was so hilarious. I was dying. So as he said, but he wasn't laughing when Heath Slater got annihilated by the Funkasaurus himself. Brodus Clay and William Regal, he's out there at the announce table, so I would not be surprised that I would see him going at Brodus Clay in the coming weeks. It could happen during the Royal Rumble or even next week on Raw, so we have to just check that out because they had a little dance off on Friday Night SmackDown. Of course, Brodus Clay won that one fair and square. All right, now we get to our next match. We got The Miz versus R-Truth. But the loser will be the number one entry in this year's 25th anniversary of the Royal Rumble. By far, this was the best match of the night. Besides the Sheamus and Jinder Mahal, this one was the best. R-Truth and The Miz, great chemistry, just completely put on a show. But it was at the end where R-Truth did some type of move to The Miz and pinned him, and The Miz, who's number one, is the number one entrance to this year's Royal Rumble. Here we go with the main event. And before we get to the main event, John Laurinaitis is pumped up like he's a boxer in the ring. And he gets this fax by David Otunga, and he says, tells him to look at it. And he says, you may not like what you want to see with this fax. And clearly, Laurinaitis is just overwhelmed at the fact that he's being bothered by something. So, in fact, John Laurinaitis brought out David Otunga, and Otunga read that, your performance as Raw interim general manager is being under review, and next week we'll do an evaluation to determine whether you still have what it takes to be Raw interim general manager or your service is no longer rendered. And the person who's going to be doing all of this will be none other than the Chief Operating Officer in Triple H. There was no contest between John Laurinaitis and CM Punk, but CM Punk was about to get with John Laurinaitis, but John Laurinaitis simply says he has an absolute substitute for you and David Otunga. Otunga kind of attacked CM Punk, and then Punk came back and attacked him, and then CM Punk got John Laurinaitis because John Laurinaitis was about to shake his hand, but he pulled him up, put him into the GT. Yeah. Dolph Ziggler comes out and puts the zigzag on CM Punk. So that's how Raw ended. And I must say that tonight's Raw just builds up everybody's momentum as to what's going to happen at the Royal Rumble. Because this is probably going to be one Royal Rumble you will soon never forget. What was your take on Raw? Post your comments what you thought about Raw Super Show tonight. I will be back later on in the week to give you my Royal Rumble predictions and figure out who are going to be these 30 participants in the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Oh, Mick Foley is now also entered the Royal Rumble match just as well. So that's it for my Raw Super Show for this week. I'm Roll to G. Thanks for coming out. And we'll see you later.